All right. Hi, everybody. I am Rachel Pedretti. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. And have I got a treat for you no matter where you are in the world? It is Wednesday morning in Australia, Tuesday night in America, and we might even have some people here from the UK. I have got the absolute honor of introducing someone so special to you guys. So tonight's special presenter is the lady who has masterminded this group, okay? I really just want to share with you guys her heart before she even starts to talk. Her mother's closest friend right now has passed away, and there's something massive going on in their family, and she really needed to be there. She moved heaven and earth to be on this call live for you guys. She could have got one of us to do it. She could have recorded the call, but she is so committed to every one of you guys. So what I ask for you guys, whether you're listening to this live or whether you're listening to the replay, is that you get committed. You show her that respect, you show her that grace, you show her that love, and get your pens out, get your notepads out, take notes, record the call on your phone, the audio, so that you can listen to it over and over again. Share it with your friends, your family, and your team, because the best way to say thank you to this beautiful woman is by actually implementing what she shares with you into your own business, so that you can have the same freedom that she has been able to have and the results that she's getting for her team, okay? So it's not just about sitting here listening to this call. It's about actually implementing what she says. So tonight's speaker is Lauren Sims. She's from Denver, Colorado. She is a retired nutritionist and fitness professional. What I love about her was her life. She was in a sure she's going to share where her life was, and she saw Isagenix and she grabbed the opportunity by the horns, and she has run and she hasn't stopped. She's so committed to every single one of you having success, and for the whole of Isagenix. She's a start ambassador. So what that means is worldwide selected by our founders and founder son Eric to group. But she's not just stopping at being an ambassador for them. She's an ambassador for every age group, because she believes that every single one of you deserves to have freedom and to have great health. I love her so much. I am sitting here, I'm ready to go. Guys, all I can say is listen, take notes, be present, share it, and let's implement what she shares with us, because she is phenomenal. Lauren Sims, sorry for taking over 5 minutes, but hey.
You're so cute, you guys. Hi. I do love, looking forward to these calls. So if you guys, just because the first call, I'm just going to be upfront because this is the red of me, had 100 and some people on it, and I'm looking at who's on right now. If you have team members that are not on, give them a quick buzz and just be like, hey, don't forget about Fast Track. Hey, hop onto Fast Track. Send them the together. Let's just put a little bit of pressure on people, because sometimes, we all get distracted and we all can make up reasons why we don't want to do things, but it's the consistency over and over and over, you guys, that will get you results. I mean, that's the fitness pro in me. Like, if you consistently go, it's going to work out for you. If you don't consistently go, it's not going to work out for you. And our business is the same way. And Rachel, you guys, thank you for honoring that. And for any of you that believe in prayer, if you do want to just kind of keep my mom in the back of her mind, my mom's a lector in the Catholic Church, and the woman that passed away was her mentor. She was like a grandma-like figure to me. I've known her for literally my entire life, 33 years probably. And the wake is happening right now, and I've decided that I'll be here, but I'm going to the funeral tomorrow. So thank you, Rachel, for saying that. I did almost back out of this and do a pre-recording too, but it's okay. I'm here, and I'm excited to be with you guys. So I did my first call, or the first call, you guys heard my story. I don't want to spend any time on that. And tonight I'm super excited because I was given the topic of connecting, which you guys know I absolutely love to connect. So we're going to talk a little bit about online. We're going to talk a little bit about offline connection. I'm also going to merge this into how we're setting up three-way text messages, three-way Facebook messages, and ending with really kind of setting up maybe three-way calls, and then do the call to action and the homework for you guys tonight. So before I dive into it, I want to just be honest with you guys that this is the first time the five of us have worked together, and we're always growing, we're always learning. Remember what we say, that every master was once a disaster, and that Google accountability link seemed like a brilliant idea of like, oh gosh, if they could just go in there every day and check that off and we wouldn't have to monitor, 25 people each. Like that sounded like a great plan, but we know this sheet's not working on everybody's phones, or some people are not as tech savvy as others. Some people are going in and typing over other people's names and their stuff is getting erased. So we are listening to your feedback, and from here on out, we're going to make it simple. You're going to see that same little postcard that you've seen of week 3, week 4, week 2, whatever week is happening. And all you have to do is comment done in there. If you don't comment, you didn't do it. If you write done, we know you did it. We're just going to try and simplify it, make it easier for you guys. And the idea is not to babysit you, except we just really want to hold you accountable. That's it. I think then we can get along with our prizes and try and do these drawings a little bit better, because we really do want to give some stuff away. But each week we go, who won? Who's done their stuff? And like, we're struggling on this side as well, but we don't want to make any excuses. Just be transparent that we're not trying to not spoil you. We're just unsure who's really doing the do. So that being said, let's hop into this. And you guys, I'll tell you, I'm a chatterbug. Like, I don't know if you guys know those little kids books that like, they all have like Mr. Happy, Mr. Grumpy, but like every person throughout like my life, I have like 15 of them called Mrs. Chatterbox. Like, like true story, right? So for me to open up my mouth and talk to people is not hard, but for me to learn this skill set and learn network marketing, or be able to ask for someone's phone number, or get it offline and onto a phone, that's all a skill set, you guys, and that was not natural for me. So I know when I get going and I start giving you examples, you immediately go, oh my gosh, I'm never going to sound like her, or oh my gosh, where did she learn to say that? It's 4 years, 20 to 100 conversations a day. Like, if I could show you my Facebook message thread and my text message thread for the last 6 hours, just today, the amount of conversations I'm having, that's why it's so fluid. That's really the only reason, is because I do it over and over and over and over, because I love this and I love sharing my story. I love teaching you guys how to share your story, and I love being able to invite others to take a look. So let's start first with connecting offline, like actual belly to belly, not hiding behind our computers, not hiding behind Facebook, but actually building a relationship. And in the most simplest way, and this comes from Eric Worre, you guys, he is, the author of GoPro, he literally is an expert in this profession, but it is as simple as complimenting them, right? Like starting with a compliment after you introduce yourself, stating your purpose, and then asking how to connect, or asking for a way to follow up. I've heard this taught in 5, 6, 8, 7 steps, whatever it is. Some people make it a lot more lengthy on what you're even saying. But if you can just remember to compliment, state your purpose, or introduce who you are, and then be able to ask for contact information, it really, really is that simple. And so one of the things that we've talked about previous on these calls, and you've probably heard any one of your leaders, that's in this group talk about, is the intention statements, right? Having a clear vision of who you want to partner with. Like, what's your board of directors? I have a brand new rock star on my team right now, and Eric Coover did her call this morning, right? Was getting really excited about the opportunity. And over, he just kept saying, like, if you were the captain and you get to pick your key players, like, what do they look like? What are they bringing to the table? When you can see yourself as the CEO of your business and you're going to put on your recruiter hat, or Jenny used to always talk about being a talent scout, what are you looking for? And I've heard Susan Sly say, if you're not having them at your dinner table, then they don't belong in your business. And I think sometimes people are so hungry for enrollment, you forget about the quality. And I can tell you, and I can promise you, the other 4 on this call with me, as in terms of the leaders, would agree, because we've all enrolled a ton of people, that you'd rather have 1 or 2 coachable rock stars, 1 or 2 people that are full of heart, full of the same core values, than 20, 30, 50 people that are negative energy. They're going to suck you dry, that, are not in tune with the things that you believe in. So get really, really clear on who it is that you even want to partner with. And if you can visualize, like literally visualize, all of you that are married, you knew what your husband or you knew what your wife was going to look like to some extent before you met them. You knew your non-negotiable core values. You had an idea of the energy they were going to bring, the way they were going to feel. When you can get that clear on your business builders, they will show up. They will show up, and they're not going to show up on a way that they knock on your door and they say, hi, I want to build Isagenix with you. But they're going to show up in a way that when you least expect it, you see all of those qualities, all of those traits, and that's where the connection starts, because you are able to identify it and say it. So for example, when I do my intention statements in the morning, I write out things like, I am looking for burnt out, exhausted moms that want to feel good, want to have amazing energy, and want to be able to contribute to their family income. I write out things like, I am looking for fitness professionals that absolutely love paying, health and wellness forward, but they're tired of exchanging time for money. I'm looking for people that are organized, that are driven, that are competitive, that are in corporate America seeking fulfillment, right? Like, those are the things. And so when I first start my day, I'm really clear. You guys have heard this before. What you focus on grows, right? What you focus on, you find. If you don't know what you're focusing on, you will not find it. If you know what you're focused on, it shows up. And so I might be at Starbucks by myself. I might be there doing a presentation. I might be there with my team. But all of a sudden, here comes the mom, right? She's in her stroller. She's got like infant food all over her. She's tired. She's ordering the biggest cup of coffee on the planet, trying to get through her day. You can see her exhaustion. And I'll just be like, hi. I'm like, I know this is so random. And I was like, but you look like the most super mom in the world. I'm watching you juggle everything. And I know this is crazy. And I was like, but I know so many people like you. I know so many moms that were just trying to do it all. And I said, I would love to show you something. I would love to invite you to something that just can make your schedule better, maybe help you with a little bit more energy. And they normally look at me like I'm absolutely crazy, like, who is the random person that just came up to me? And then they'll say, okay, what is it? And I'll say, I'm in a meeting right now, or what, I'm on a call right now. Like, I was like, just, can we connect on Facebook? If you'd be so kind to give me your name and number, I'll be in touch with you later on today or tomorrow. But it's being able to recognize what it is you're looking for and then just go for it. So one of the homework things for you guys is Kathy Coover's call, How to Be a Master Connector. And some of this I literally learned from that very first podcast when I first started listening to it. But you guys may have heard Jill Bowman takes her team and she takes them to the mall and she like spreads them all over, and has them practice connecting, has them practicing building those relationships. I've done this with my team. And if you guys are like, oh my gosh, I don't ever know what to say to people, do it in the cold market, because the likelihood you're ever going to see them again is so small that fail forward. Practice on the strangers, that who cares if you embarrass yourself, or who cares if it doesn't go out the way you want. You're going to get better and better and better. That way you're an expert when the right person presents themselves, or that way you're an expert when you are, actually going after someone that you want in your business. So another way that I do this, you guys, let's just say that I'm at Nordstrom's, and I'm checking out or something, and I think that the customer or the employee has the best customer service. They were attentive. They went above and beyond. Like, you guys know when they just throw your stuff in a bag, or they're neat, they're tidy, they're talking to you, if they look healthy, if they're joyful, if they're fun. And I'll just say, I was such a pleasure to work with you today. And I said, I'm constantly recruiting for people in my organization. I'm looking for people with amazing customer service. I'm always looking for people that are fun, that are so nice. And I said, I really enjoyed, being able to have this experience with you today. If you have just the 30 seconds, I'd love your name and number. Like, I'd love to go to coffee with you, lunch this week, show you more about what I do. The idea is to create curiosity. I'm not trying to sell a president's pack while I'm checking out at Nordstrom's, right? But I want to identify the traits that they have, tell them what I do. So I'm constantly recruiting for my company. I'm a talent scout for people with amazing traits like yourself, and then figuring out how to get their Instagram, their Facebook, their number, their email, some way that I can get a hold of them, because the likelihood that they're ever going to call me is like zero. If you're one of those people that's like, well, I gave them my business card, it's never going to work. You've got to be the one that's proactive in this. If you said you're recruiting, then be a recruiter. And so I think that there's a lot of ways that you guys can connect offline. I love people in the service industry, because that was my story. I exchanged time for money for over a decade. So that's who I relate to. Every time I get in a Lyft, every time I get in an Uber, I ask them questions like, hey, how long have you been doing this? Right? Starting to break the ice. What do you like about it? 99% of the time, they're going to say something like, oh, it's flexible, it's additional income, right? Sometimes I ask, what are the things you don't like? I'll just say, well, if there was a way that you could earn the same amount of income, but from the privacy of your home, that you could be home with your kids. Or if there was a way you could earn the same amount of income without driving all over, the state and racking up miles in your car, is this something you'd be interested in? Is this something you would want to know more about? And if they say, yeah, great, get the information. If they go, no, okay, next. You know, like the amount of Lyft and Ubers I take in any given week, I mean, it's crazy. I'll tell you, just today, this is true. I am always following my 3x3, those 3 connections, 3 follow-ups. I was like, I'm at that point. I've been recruiting the same people, like following up the same people. I need to meet new people. So I went and got a Vitality Superfood Bowl today. I could have driven 5 miles down the street, 5 minutes back. I took a Lyft there and I took a Lyft back, and I have 2 new people that I get to connect with, right? I mean, there are people out there that are screaming for Isagenix. There's people that are screaming for this opportunity, for fulfillment, for the health, for the income. But it's up to us to put ourselves in places that we can share that story. And the other place that I love to do it is when you go out to eat. You know, I mean, those people are exchanging time for money. That is a hard job. The best servers in the world will still struggle for money because if they don't work, they don't make money. You know, if they get sick, they don't make money. It doesn't mean you recruit every single one, but if you have a great dining experience, you know, someone that had great menu knowledge, someone that went above and beyond to take care of you, someone that was fun or energetic or whatever it was, tell them that. It's literally as simple as being like, I am so glad you waited on us tonight. And I said, it looks like you're a great multitasker. You have amazing customer service. So I'm always looking for people just like you to be a part of my team. I'd love to grab your number. I'd love to take you to coffee this week. You know, I'd love to connect with you on Facebook, show you more about what I do. I think I've had an amazing opportunity with you. And it's not at all of what you're saying, you guys. It's all about why you're doing it, why they would want to be into it, and about being inspirational, being so excited. My friend Jessica Rigner always talks about the excite and confuse. Like if you're so in love with what you're doing, people have no clue, but they don't want to miss out. It's like an instant FOMO effect. If you're hyper about it, if you're in love with it, they're like, wait, what? I don't know what that just said to me, but here's my number. You know, and here's the thing, you guys, they're not going to enroll with you right away. 99% of the time, they're not. They have no idea who you are. This is your cold market. You have to build a relationship with them online. This is why we're consistent with posting on social media. This is why you're consistent. If you say you're going to call, the next day, call. If you invite them to coffee, set up that coffee appointment, right? But they're going to watch, they're going to watch, they're going to watch. 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now, they're like, okay, you're the real deal. You've been doing this for 12 months. You actually didn't stop after the first week I met you or whatever. They'll join your business. So I want you guys just to think about right now, where are some people that you really relate to? Is it personal trainers? Is it waitresses? Is it bartenders? You know, is it massage therapists? And someone that you could just practice that, complimenting, stating what you do, and asking for their information. So I want to transition this a little bit to the offline, the online communication. If you guys have ever received, and I'm sure you have on either LinkedIn or Facebook, a massive post, right? Someone sent you a message telling you all about their company. Attached was the videos. You could tell it was like the same universal script that probably went out to 100 people. Raise your hands if you've ever received it. Now, when I receive things like that, I know how I feel. I'm like, delete. Like, you didn't read anything about what I do. You could care less about what I do. This is all about yourself, right? I don't even entertain it. And a lot of times when I'll get scripts like that from my team and they go, hey, I'm about to blast this out to everybody. What do you think? And I'll say, would you respond to that? And if you think you would, then you should send it. And if you don't think you would, I don't think that you should. And I think about when Janet called me, you know, and I was sitting on my apartment floor with $17 to my name. I didn't get a Facebook message of someone telling me their story, the company stats, and a link to why Isagenix. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be here if that's how I was introduced to Isagenix, you know? But someone was like, I heard what happened to you. I care about you. I want to talk to you. So even when you're connecting with people online, you guys, don't hide behind social media. I mean, it is an unlimited amount of people to see your story. It's an unlimited amount of people that you can reach out to and help. But that doesn't mean like we treat everybody like the same person and say the same message to in the same way, because everybody's different. And I want you guys to really think about that. And so when I'm connecting online, I'm using something very similar that I'm complimenting them. I'm excited about what I'm doing. But instead of asking for their number, I'm trying to get on the phone with them, right? Or I'm asking them to take a look at something. But I build the personal relationship by either reinforcing why I reached out to them, so something I saw on their Facebook, or by establishing a relationship, connecting on common ground, and then I go into it. So let's just say I don't know Renee at all, right? Like we're not friends. I never talked to her, but for whatever reason, she popped up in my newsfeed. You guys have seen that from Facebook. You're like, who's that person, you know? And let's just say she wrote something like, oh my gosh, I've had the worst day ever, and now I have to go off to my third job for the day, right? Has anybody ever seen that post, like that negative post? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that poor mom is working her butt off. So I would message her, and I would probably send a voice memo because I want you to hear my passion. I want you to hear my excitement. But even if I typed it or texted it, I would be like, hey girl, I don't know how we're connected. I don't know if we really know each other. I said, but I happened to see your post today about having such a bad day and having to go to your third job. And I can tell you, I remember what those days were like, right? And I might just leave it like that. I might just leave it right there because I'm waiting for her to respond. I'm waiting for her even to say like, okay, well, it's not like that for you anymore, or thanks, I really appreciate it. Like, it's kind of like a ping pong match, right? If you just keep hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting the tennis ball and nothing's coming back, people shut down. You have to allow that communication to happen. So then if she writes back something along the lines of, oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying that. It's been rough. And I might say, you know what? I was in a really, really tough situation a few years ago. I happened to see your post. I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing, tell you a little bit about my story. I think I have something that might be able to help you. And she's going to say, well, what is it? You know, I'm too busy. I don't have a lot of time. And I'll just say, you know what? I'm too excited about this to send you a link to a website. I'm too excited about this to try and, you know, text it all. And I said, we just need a couple minutes. As soon as you got a break in your schedule, let me know, ping me. We'll hop on the phone. I really, really want to help you. Sometimes it's as simple as that, you know? Maybe I saw someone on my Facebook that I'd been friends with for a while, right? And I knew they just had a baby, and the post comes up, something like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my baby's almost a year and I still haven't lost my pregnancy weight, right? Like you guys have seen that post. Most of you scroll over, hope that if you post a shake post, they're gonna write you. They're gonna go, hey, are your shakes gonna help me lose my pregnancy weight? Like that's awesome when that happens, right? That's awesome. But most often we have to write them. And so I might say something like, hey, Deanna, like, and I was like, you know, I love watching you on Facebook. I love how involved in the church you are. And she's like, oh, thanks. And I say, I happen to see your post today that you're struggling still to lose the baby weight. You know, I've never had kids, but I've helped a lot of moms get to their pre-mom genes. I said, if you're interested, you know, I think I have something I can show you. I think I have something that can help you. You know, and if she's like, okay, well, what is it? That might be a time I say, you know, if I send you a quick video, will you take a look? And then we can get on the phone to get your specific goals. You have to feel this out a little bit. But I'm not going to message her and say, hey, I've been with this company for 4 years. We've coached this amount of people, watch this video, and hope she's going to go, oh, that's the answer to my problems. You know, like you really want to care about people. That doesn't mean you have to have a text message conversation for 3 days and still never bring up Isagenix. So I get that a lot too. People are like, what do I say? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been talking to them for 3 weeks and no one's talked about Isagenix. Like at some point you still want to state the purpose of why you reached out to them, but in a really, really genuine way. So even when we have big goals, you guys, a lot of us are trying to go executive. We all should be trying to go executive. So we know if you're enrolling 2 people a week, if you want double PIVs, that's 20 conversations. So is it likely you're going to see 20 posts of people on Facebook that you're going to have a way into? No, of course not. You're going to see a couple, but at the same point, when you go back to who is it that you want to connect with? Who are your captains? Who are the people you want to partner? Who are the people you want to bless? Who are the people that you know Isagenix is going to, you know, change the trajectory of their life? It's going to rock their fitness, whatever it may be. You're still finding common ground and then introducing it, right? So let's say that I'm going to reach out to Erin and I'm like, what's up? How are you? Like, I love watching you coach football online. You know, I'm like, your posts make me so happy every single day, right? We're going to talk for a little bit. I'm going to say, but here's the deal. And I was like, you are like one of the most inspirational people on the world. You have huge influence. And I was like, and I have something I want you to take a look at. I think you would be the most awesome stay-at-home dad. I know that's what's in your heart. And I said, would you have just a couple minutes to take a look at something? I literally wake up in the middle of the night sometimes thinking, I've got to tell Erin about this. I've got to share this with Erin, right? Assuming he's not an Isagenix. It's okay to tell people why you picked them out. I mean, if someone called you, if someone messaged you and was like, hey, I was introduced to something and I said, and you're someone I've chosen to share this with. you know, and you tell them why. Like, you're so hardworking, you love health and wellness, you know, you're so fun. And I'm thinking, like, who are the people I really, really want to lock arms with? And you're the first person that comes to mind. You're someone that I absolutely want to, you know, crush this with. People are going to be, really? You thought about me? And you can do it on the product side. You know, when you reach out to people and you say, man, you crushed it at the gym. You check in twice a day and I haven't even gone this week, you know, or whatever. I'm just curious, what do you do for your pre-workout? What do you do for your post-workout? Because I have something amazing. And if you're working out this hard, I want you to have the best results. Like, if I were to send you something, would you take a look? Are you open to learning about something? Are you open to maybe improving it, going to the next level, and just asking those questions? But I want to leave you guys with this idea of, don't just send the same script over and over and over and over. Be genuine. Compliment them, which means you either have to know them or you've got to stalk their Facebook for at least 30 seconds to pretend to get to know them. Then it's somewhat genuine. Then state what you're doing, and then you're still getting it offline. You still want to be able to get on the phone, which is where I'm going to transition a little bit into these three-way messages and three-way calls. Network marketing, you guys, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. There is a network for a reason. And if there is one thing that I have learned from this, is that it is third-party validation from start to finish. It is third-party validation from enrolling, overcoming objections, to closing, to getting to an event, to celebrating a rank advancement, to dealing with an unhappy cleanser, whatever it may be. And the more comfortable that you can get working alongside of people, the faster your business will go. And I'll tell you, for a long time, you guys, I tried to do it all. I'm like such a control freak. I was like, I got it. I'm going to do it. I'm not asking for anybody's help. I don't want to plug my team in. So what if they screw it up? And that is not going to help you grow. When you try and control everything, you cannot have growth and control at the same time. When you can let go and get others to step up and lock arms, you will see the impact of this. And so one of the things that, thank you to Adam Feitzer, who's on this call, that we have found to be so successful. You saw this call just in network marketing somewhere out in the World Wide Web, not to Isagenix, is immediately taking our connections into a three-way message, right? Without having to like set up a formal three-way call or anything, but just being able to get third-party validation right away. So let's say Renee was my awesome Lyft driver, right? And we connected. I mean, as soon as I get out of that car, I'm opening up a three-way message with Ashley, with my sister, with Jen, with Laura. I'm like, you guys, I'm like, I just met this awesome girl. Her name is Renee. She's a mom. She is, you know, so fun. She is kind of interested in Isagenix. She doesn't know a lot about it yet, but I know she would be amazing. She wants better energy. She's got 60 pounds to lose, and she's definitely looking for additional income. Can you guys pop on here real fast? Tell your quick 30-second story, and then I'll be in touch with you, right? So even before I've sent her a video, even before she's seen a pack, Jen's going in. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you met Lauren, da-da-da-da-da. Ashley's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm glad you met her. Here's my story, right? And that girl on the other end is going, holy cow. In like 2 minutes, they get inspired, they get educated, they get third-party validation, they see our culture, they see our community, and it's all on Facebook that for 1 second, they're like, who are all these Kool-Aid freaks? She can click on Ashley's profile and be like, oh, she's got some cool before and after pictures. She can click on Jen's and be like, oh my gosh, that girl looks pretty successful with this. She's been on stage speaking for the company. Oh, right. And then get real nosy about it. I mean, almost immediately, it'll help you guys close. Almost immediately. I am in so many of these threads right now, like literally hundreds. And I laugh with my team right now, but it's bringing in hundreds of enrollments every week. So I'm like, all right, just keep putting me in the thread. Keep putting me in the thread. But wherever it is. So I mean, it just happened to me. Literally, I met a bartender the other night. I thought she was fabulous. I put her in a group of 4 people, and like 2 days later, she was like, I don't even know what this is, but you guys are so fun and so nice. What do I have to do? It was like that fast. And you guys can do this with your unhappy cleansers too. I mean, if you're trying to go executive and you enrolled someone who's bloated or has a headache or their skin is itching or whatever else, right? And you're just trying to tell them to push through it, they're throwing in the towel. They're going to return that. But if you know how important retention is and you really want them to have a good product experience, because that's the backbone of this whole thing, put them in a group thread, not only with someone who's coached a lot of people, but maybe also someone who didn't have the best first days on their cleanse experience. I know the people on my team that had headaches, that had digestive issues, that didn't have a great day 5. You guys know who they are almost immediately, and if not, your team does. So if Kathy reaches out to me and she's like, Lauren, you know, I really wanted to do this program, but like my stomach is hurt every day. Like I definitely don't feel good. I think I feel worse on it. And I'll say, hey, is it okay if I just plug you in with a couple people? I want you to just hear some other stories. At the end of the day, it's up to you what you decide to do. But I think you could benefit from some other people, right? And again, that three-way message, I might pull in Chris or Karen or somebody and say, hey, I know that the first week was a little bit tough on you on Isagenix. I know it took you like 10 to 14 days to really feel the benefits. I've got a girl right now that was fired up. She's feeling a little frustrated. Do you think you could share your experience with her? Or I might ask some of my other coaches, you know, would you mind just sharing what you've seen and what you think might be able to happen? I would love, love, love for her to have a great experience. You guys, the social proof and that validation, I mean, it's huge. And so part of your homework, and you know Rachel will get this up because she's super organized and I love how much she's helping us with this page, is to set up some three-way messages. I want all of you guys to do at least 3, whether it's a cleanser that's unhappy, whether it's someone you're trying to get to go consultant, whether it is, you know, someone you're trying to enroll, someone you just connected with, but start to plug in the team. And where I was saying I used to struggle with letting go of control and I wasn't growing because I was like, well, what if Jen doesn't say what I would say? Or what if Laura doesn't say what I say? Or what if my sister said something different and then we weren't on the same page and blah, 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 or they screwed it up? And the flip side of that, you guys, is A, that never happens. And if so, it's still a coaching moment. But I usually go, dang, that was good. I learned something, right? I'm like, whoa. Adam said something awesome the other day, and I go and write it down. I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's a really good way to do it. Like, you're constantly learning from your team, so we all remember different things. So I want you to just think about from that connecting how easy it is, because I know a lot of you are like, oh, I got the number. Now what? And you're like, when do I send the video? Do I do the call and then the video? Do I do the video to the call? When do I get their schedule? And so nothing ends up happening. You have all these numbers or these people you meet, and people get frozen. And I'm inviting you to try the three-way message, either on Facebook or text. It's so non-invasive. It's so fun. And you guys will just see the fluidity of this and how people are hopping on board. So then moving from there onto the three-way call, what you'll normally, I think, organically find is someone in the thread is connecting with them a little bit better. I mean, the same way if I had 6 girls over for dinner, they're probably going to partner up, right? A couple are going to get over here. A couple are going to become friends. It just happens. Right? We're attracted to different things. We connect with different things. So if Renee's my Lyft driver, and I've got 4 or 5 other people on the thread telling the story, and I can go, oh my gosh, okay, so Roseanne and Renee, like they get it. They totally get it. They totally relate. I'm going to message Renee probably privately and just say, hey, I know you heard some stories. I would love to get on the phone. I want to hear more about your story. I want to hear more about your goals. I might also have Roseanne on the phone with me. I think you guys have a lot in common, right? Is there a good time we can call you? Or here's a couple times I'm available. Do either of these work for you? And setting that up. It's so important, you guys, when you're new, that you're using your team. And I don't like the words upline or sponsors or mentors. You just want to use your team. We all say things differently. You can learn things differently. But so often in the beginning, which is where a lot of you are, you're not necessarily enrolling because you get hung up, right? Some people just simply cannot ask for the close. Or one objection, they stall because they feel like the person is rejecting them instead of just being able to knowledgeably and eloquently answer the question or provide them for the information. Like if people are coming up with objections, they're asking questions, they're interested. They just need more information, but that shuts you down. And being able to get comfortable setting up three-way calls, and the best way I can tell you guys to do this is don't make it weird. Don't say things like I'm getting you on the phone with my mentor. I'm getting you on the phone with my sponsor. I'm getting you on the phone with my upline, because we're already speaking a foreign language, right? But if you can say, hey, I cannot wait to introduce you to my friend, blah, 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 and you're relating them of what they have in common, people are open to it. So I'm a nutritionist. You do not have to be a nutritionist to do Isagenix. I've been trying to retire that title for 4 years. I still can't get rid of it. My team wants to embrace that I'm a nutritionist. It's okay. But when we get on the phone, right, and I'm always trying to be relatable, I'm always trying to like dumb that down and put myself in the same box as them. But there's a time that you want to say that. There's a time that that offers validity, but not every call, right? In the same way that I don't have to have my sponsor, my upline, a millionaire in the company to relate to some of my, you know, my team or some of the people I've brought on. So for example, when I have moms on the team, I'm not a mom. I don't know what that's like to try and do this business and do homework and do baths. I have no idea. I don't have that life right now. So guess what? Ashley, my other single friend, is not going to be doing that call with me. We look like phonies. But if I'm like, Melanie, can I steal you for like 10 minutes? Can you talk to this mom and tell me how you're building this business in the pockets of your time, you know, with all these little kiddos? And I say that to the person, hey, I'm not a mom. I don't really know, but I'm going to get someone on the phone that's crushing this, that is a super busy mom, and her story I know is going to inspire you and show you that it's possible. Is it cool if we call you together? People are open to that. I mean, it's literally about pouring into people. It's literally about inspiring them. It's about teaching them. It's about loving on them, and it's connecting like-minded people to like-minded people. I mean, just last Sunday, or I guess a week and a half ago, feels like longer, Jen and Adam on this call were enrolling a couple that's, you know, really involved in the fitness industry specific to athletes. And Aaron, who's not financially linked to us, did the call because he was the most relatable person, right? Like, if I was like, hey, Rach, you want to talk to these bodybuilders? She'd be like, sure, I'm in Bali doing yoga. Like, how do they feel about that, right? It's not relatable. But he was relatable. And so that the three-way call wasn't awkward because we weren't like, hey, we're going to get you on the phone with our sponsor, and he's a part of Team Isagenix, and he's made this amount of money in 4 years. And people run from that. We're like, hey, you got to talk to somebody who's doing exactly what you're doing. He can tell you exactly what to do to be successful. People are really, really, really excited for that. So I want you, number one, because I know I talk fast, listen to this again. Listen to it in the shower, you know, listen to it when you're driving, listen to it, you know, it's up for a couple days, and just challenge yourself. Okay, where's one person in the cold market that I can reach out to? Where's one person that deserves to be blessed by Isagenix? Is it someone who works at Ulta? Is it someone who works at Target? Is it someone who works at Starbucks? Is it a Lyft driver, an Uber driver, someone who works at your kid's daycare? I mean, just think right now, oh my gosh, these are the people I really need to talk to about Isagenix. Figure out how to put yourself in front of them, and I want you to just challenge yourself to compliment them, state what you're doing, and set some type of appointment, some type of contact information. And then do the same thing with 3 online connections, right? I mean, go through your friends, go to recent friends, go to mutual friends, and just see, like, who is it that strikes out on you? Most of us don't even know who we're friends with on Facebook anymore. I mean, look through your list and just be like, oh my gosh, that person totally needs Isagenix. And think about why, and message them that. Use the voice memo thing that Renee talked about. I mean, that excitement, that enthusiasm is so huge. When you're fired up, you cannot type that. Like, there isn't the right capital letters or sarcastic font or exclamation points and hearts and emojis to be able to get your heart out there. You have to let them hear you and be excited. So I want you guys to do that. And then our 3x3x3, it's a little bit different in terms of your homework. Yes, you're still always connecting and following up, but I want you this week to start a minimum of 3 of those group messages where you're plugging other people in to share their story or help you with an area that your cleanser is struggling with. Do the group messages. I want you to do 3 three-way calls where you're setting it up. You're asking for someone to help you. You are asking for an expert. You are asking for your upline or whoever it is that's a little bit more experienced to be on the call to help you. But then, you guys, this is why it's an apprenticeship model. I mean, we can tell you all day long, do this, do this, do this, do this. But at the end of the day, you actually have to do it, right? I don't want to tell you. I want to show you, and then I want you to show me. So if I do 3 calls for Jen this week, guess what? I'm going to say, and I want you to do 3 for me. And I might risk an enrollment. If I've got someone fired up and I'm trying to grow Jen as a leader and I'm trying to get her to grow the skill set, she might screw it up. It might happen. She might say the wrong thing. We might not close with the President's Pack. But in the long run, the skill set she's going to have, the belief that she's going to have that I asked her to do that, and the skill she's going to learn, there's an abundance of people out there, right? Let go of the outcome and get your leaders to step up. So not only are you going to ask them to do 3 calls for you, but then you're going to do them for us, or you're going to do them for somebody else where you get to be the expert. And I'll tell you guys, I hit 3-star with a vengeance. It happened fast, and then I went back to 1-star and I got stuck for a while because I wasn't duplicating. And it took a long time to realize that people weren't necessarily going to be me. And if Laura Lori is on this call right now, she'd be the first to tell you that I used to balk at her. I was like, don't do that. Don't do this. Ah, you're in the wrong group. I mean, like, she is one of the strongest leaders on the team. And I literally, if something happened to me today, I would trust her with everything, our blueprints, the calls, everything to run this team. But it's 4 years of her failing forward. It's 4 years of her becoming excellent. It's 4 years of her getting better. But there was a time I was like, oh my gosh, the only way she's going to get better is if she does these calls, right? And her first team calls were train wrecks. They were train wrecks. She'll tell you they were a train wreck. But guess what? She's awesome now. She trains for Isagenix. Like, they've had her on a podcast. They had her in an IsaFY story. But she wasn't always like that. So if you're someone who's like, oh my gosh, they're always doing the calls for me, you got to step up. You've got to start doing that role reversal. You're going to learn. So I want you to challenge yourself to be the expert on 3 calls in addition to having someone else do them for you. The only call we're going to have you listen to is the Kathy Coover, Master the Art of Connecting. And I want to just leave you with this thought today that when Eric was on the call with us today, this morning, he always fires me up. I mean, you can't talk to Eric Cooper and like not get fired up and not get really excited. But what he was saying to this girl who I have recently enrolled, and she's a massive social media following, massive, over 60,000 followers on Instagram. Like, she does all of her stats, and like the reach she has goes into the millions. Like, I've never even seen anything like this, right? Massive following. And he was literally coaching her. He's like, don't open your social media yet. He's like, don't even announce to the world yet what you're doing. And she was like, really? And she had done some formula that if she did this post and if 1% of people reached out, the hundreds of people that we'd be having conversations with. And he was like, no. He's like, it's not a rush, and he was talking about the consistency and the culture and all the things that we want to do with Isagenix, and not just like bringing people in just to bring people in. He goes, this is your legacy company. He goes, you want to hand select your key players. He's like, let's not just post on social media and let anybody join your business. He's like, I want you in the next couple weeks to pick out your key players and spend time authentically connecting with them, pouring your heart out, being open, being vulnerable about why you're doing this, what you're looking to change in your life, what you're excited about with the products, the company, embracing your product experience, highlighting what they're bringing to the table, why you want to partner with them. And he's like, go from there. And then he was saying, leverage me or, someone in her upline to help with overcoming the objections, to help with tree placement, to help whatever that may be. But the part was not what to do after the connection, how to get to the close. He was talking about the connection. And all of us, you guys, I can be just as guilty of this, hide on social media. But like, oh, I posted a shake. Oh, I posted a cleanse day. Oh, I posted a transformation photo. Oh, I did a Facebook Live. Some people reached out to me, but people aren't just going to come knock on your door. But if you can really think about, like, if you were the coach of a team and you got to pick your key players, or you were going to have the most amazing people over for dinner, if you really were the CEO and you were going to hire your executive team, treat your business the same way. And I've been saying this for years since I got into Isagenix. It is not by accident Jim and Kathy have the executive team that they have. It is not by accident. Those people did not submit resumes to Isagenix. They recruited carefully in over 15 years, have put the most amazing people together to lead this company that they can go back into retirement, right? They handpicked Travis Ogden and Travis Garza and Mac Larson and step into your leadership with your business, that don't let every Joe Schmo knock on your door and think they're going to be the next Isagenix millionaire. And part of your connection is being vulnerable. Part of your connection, your most relatable is when you're in the journey, is not trying to be like the know-it-all. Stop trying to be the expert. Stop trying to feel like you got it all together on the business side or the product side. But that feel, felt, found, right, of where you were and what you found and what's available to them is so key. And when I used to connect with people in the very beginning, I didn't share how broke I was in the beginning because I had too much ego. I had too much pride. And guess what? I had a lot of product users. A lot of product users because I was in health and wellness and they trusted me to do a cleanse. But when I started telling people, you guys, a couple months ago, I had $17 to my name. Like, that's how, in the challenging situation I had, and this is what this company's done for me, people opened up. People told me where they struggled, the debt that they had, how they were barely making it, whatever it may be, that sometimes we get so focused on the close, we get so focused on the outcome, you just forget the human relationship. And so when you're connecting, if it's in the threads, if it's online, if it's offline, as much as why you are focused on them and what they can do for your business or what Isagenix can do for them or why you want to connect with them, don't forget that your story is so powerful. Every one of your journeys is unique. And even if you just got started, why did you say yes? You had to have been feeling a certain way before that you got excited about this and you said yes. Don't forget to share that because that's where people are going to bond with you. That's where people are really going to connect with you. So You guys, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn it over to Aaron, and I don't even need an introduction. I just want him to like fire us all up and send us out on a high note.
Well, I can tell you this, man. You got me lit up, boy. I'm ready to get on the phone. And that was such an amazing training, Lauren. I mean, you really clearly described exactly what Jimmy and Kathy have entrusted us to do, right? And so, you know, I want to encourage everyone to do two things. The first thing is build belief. You see how Lauren just flew off and just went nuts? The reason why she did that was because she's a 10 out of 10 and believing she has something that can save everyone from wherever they are right now and take them forward. That's why you have to be able to believe that. If you don't believe that, you're going to be hesitant to talk to someone because it's more about what's in it for you, and that's why it feels so uncomfortable. And so build that belief, and if you need help with that, you know, reach out. Reach it into our group. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you to believe what you are a part of. And then the second thing is this came from, you know, some of my leaders over in the UK, and it was incredible what she said. She said, every time I talk to someone and every time someone says yes to being part of this, you know, this movement, she goes, I ask myself two questions. Am I being a servant to them and helping them move forward? And am I doing what Jim and Kathy have asked us to do in creating the largest health and wellness company in the world by being a servant leader and helping everyone that says yes and everyone that says, I'll take a look, to understand exactly what this thing is. And if you can ask those two questions with yes and yes, then you're in the right place. If not, then go back into that belief model, reach out to us, and help us to help you to believe what you are a part of, because it is that big and it is that important that we believe that. But now, crushed it, Lauren. Let's rock and roll, y'all. Let's continue to move forward, and let's connect. Let's connect.
Okay, wait, before we hang up, because Deanna's messaging me that she's got something to say. And I did want to, I just saw one question in the chat that I think is really important to respond to. And Aaron, I actually would invite you to chime in as the male spokesperson here after I answer it. But how are guys recruiting females, you know, without having like that flirtation feeling or whatnot? And I'll say it's the same way. Like, it's very easy for me to connect to a female bartender. If it's a male bartender, I immediately am like, oh my God, this guy's going to hit on me. This guy's totally thinking I'm hitting on me. And two things I will tell you. Number one, you have to state your profession so upfront. Be really, really clear that it's business. And if you are married or if you're in a relationship, plug them in immediately. My wife and I do this. My girlfriend and I do something. If you're single, we'll go back to it. But if you are someone, a gentleman for sure, and you're married or you're in a relationship, say, there's something my wife and I would love to share with you. There's something my girlfriend and I would really like to invite you. Plug them in immediately, because I can tell you from the years I was waiting tables and bartending and I was getting pitched network marketing companies, now in hindsight, I was always slightly more open to the women than the men. And it had a lot to do. I was like, oh my God, here's some sleazy, slimy, salesy guy. That be genuine, but plug them in for sure. And I think when you can really have at that point something that does brand you, like even though you want their information, having a business card, having a flyer, having something that validates what you're doing and why you're doing it, I think helps really protect that you're not flirty and that you're not doing it. Mm-hmm. And Aaron or Adam, and one of you guys should definitely chime in on this, because I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I do, the most important thing I do is I add them to my Facebook page, right? My group that we use to kind of just spark curiosity and bring them into the community immediately. And, you know, it's really about posturing. You know, don't get weird. Don't be all strange, you know, and be careful with the compliments, you know, just kind of be sincere about it. Don't go too in depth, you know, in regards to that, because honestly, like, yeah, it could be weird, and you could be put yourself in a situation where it's just not professional. And so, you know, just be careful with that. And I immediately just use Facebook, you know, our group, say, hey, listen, I want to add you to our group. It's an amazing group. We have some powerful women in there that are just, you know, just really defining their life and designing their lifestyle. And I would love to have you talk to a few of them, because it looks like that's what you're about as well. So just use a lot of that type of language and referring to the women that you work with. And, you know, exactly like Lauren said, if you're married, you know, my wife and I, we started our own business, and, you know, my children and I, you know, we really work together as a family, and, you know, just really be transparent. I think that's the number one thing, and be real.
Okay, so that was awesome. And did Adam want to say anything, or am I chatting now?
I would definitely chime in. I think it's easy for Jen and I, because we're on the same page. We do the same thing. There's a lot of people on here that don't have a spouse that are on the same page with this, but I'll immediately start like the Facebook message with Jen and whoever this person is, just introduce them to her, so it takes that weirdness out, and then she takes over kind of, and I just pass that ball to her.
And if you don't have a wife or woman, I would just say plug in another female team member. Even if you want to do a thread before the group, just say, hey, here's another girl I partner with, here's another girl on the team, because the female energy will deflate that. Okay, you, Deanna.
So Lauren, this is so great. It was really great for me to hear. I've been around a little bit, but it's just so many things that I could take away from it. One thing that you sort of went full circle with even Eric's story and how you started about writing your intentions down, and is just the emphasis that I really want to emphasize here is by picking your team. And even that Eric took this woman who is a high influencer and said, wait a second, directly go to people who you really want on your team first in order to sort of solidify things. And, I did the same thing as you, Lauren, and I'm still looking for more and more leaders because I would tend to attract so many product users. We all love our product users and they're so important. But out of all of this, it's just, really learn how to focus in and intentionally state, so that it was so good that you were saying you wrote it down, and I could even picture you then going to the coffee shop, seeing who you're intentionally trying to attract, but because you remind yourself and you're getting your mindset right, it's happening. And I feel like that's so exciting. And the three-way message thing, I'm telling you, that's how I built my business in the beginning intuitively. I just put everybody on three-way messages. It's Carolyn and I, and we kind of stopped doing that when the pages came, and the pages are great, but they're not as intimate and direct. They're not as like laser sharp focused. So this was so good, and I just want to thank you, Lauren, for just, pouring into us, and the training was amazing. I'm going to remind myself and revisit all of this. And I'm writing down my intentions as to who I'm looking for day to day. Totally. So I just thank you so much.
You're so sweet, you guys. And I'll make one of our little word template things that we have in the page that kind of says, today I allow myself to attract people that are, and in the comments, we can just start to fill it in and kind of learn what that looks like. But that and my gratitude is something I've done every day. I mean, literally 5 or 6 days a week. I mean, it's just conditioned, like every single day, and people will show up. I mean, for those of you that were at Celebration when Tony Robbins said, look at the room and tell me everything that's red or whatever it was. And then everyone's memorizing, burgundies, reds, maroons. And he goes, now what was brown? And you're like, because you were focused on the red. And that's all that this is. It's what you're focused on. So if you show up and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't create consultants, or no one isn't called me back, or no one's liking all my posts, or no one, came to my launch party. If you show up and that's what you focus on, that's what's going to keep showing up. I promise you, people are still going to keep showing up, not showing up to your launch parties. You're still not going to have consultants. That's what's going to happen. But if you show up every single day, like Aaron just said, right? Am I here to help you? And am I practicing? Am I sharing everything I've been taught and learned from Isagenix? Am I passing that on? Am I a messenger to this amazing health and wellness company? It just happens. And Janny used to always tell me, God drops amazing people in my life. It's not by accident I sat next to Kelly Dickerhook. It is not by accident your cousin called me. It is not by accident, all this, and the people that show up. And it really is that simple, of just being really focused on the people that you want to serve, and then walking in integrity and authenticity of what the Cougars have laid out. When you connect those people, don't be disingenuous. Don't promise them to be a millionaire. Don't promise them to be the 6-figure income earner in 2 years. Tell them about this vehicle, and with hard work and sacrifice and commitment and service and contribution, the sky is the limit. But what does that look like? And you'll just see, they just come in, because you're really walking in authenticity in a very, very selfless way.
Awesome.
All right, you guys, we love you. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody. Let's rock.
Thank you.